Epicurean smokes, where the good times burn.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Steven here from Epicurean Smokes. Today, we've got a big old box from KingChii. Let's check it out. As always, we got to give our shout outs to our channel sponsors, Into the AM, for making these cool basic tees. If you want to check out Into the AM clothing, there's a link in the description with a discount code for you. And also to our friends over at Aixpi. Aixpi makes some really cool cigar accessories. So again, there's a discount code for them as well. Check out down in the description, there's the hyperlinks for those retailers, and the code is Epicurean10 for 10% off. All right, so KingChii sent us this cool big box. And so we're gonna get into it. I wanna show you what they sent. They've been doing some great stuff with humidors over the years, different styles of humidors, some thermoelectrics, and some standard desktop style. And this is kind of your in-between, where you are not looking for a desktop humidor that's gonna do in that 20 to 50 cigar range, but you're looking for a humidor that can do around 100 cigars, but not thermoelectric. So, I'm curious to see this. I have a couple humidors that are the not thermoelectric style, where they're made out of wood, there's no electronic component to it, but they hold several hundred cigars. But they're not the cabinet style, because those cabinet style ones can be very expensive. There are a lot of in-between options for people who want a non-thermoelectric option, but a humidor that will still hold on the order of around 100 cigars. So, I'm gonna carefully take this out. Well padded, lots of styrofoam. And I see a USB cable coming out of the back of this. So I'm thinking that's for some lighting. So that'll be interesting to see. Oh, that's cool. All right, so we got our KingChii logo there. All right, so here we are with our 100 count KingChii. I'm just kind of taking a little inventory about what features there are. So I see handles on the sides, so it can be lifted that way. I see a drawer in the bottom. We've got some silica. And we've got a few big humidifiers. Oh, and we've got the 110 side of that USB plug. We've got some droppers for our humidifiers, and we've got our manual. What does it say in our manual? It says we've got a light push button. Oh, it's a touch light. That's nice. Okay, cool. So you can do yellow light, white light, or kind of the in-between. Immediately you get the nice smell of cedar, so that's nice. We've got one drawer, two drawers, and the big bottom drawer. We've got our accessory drawer and some silica there. So the features as they've given them to us say that we've got our push button for light, we've got the side handles, we've got a cabinet door handle, we have a drawer pull for our accessories, and they say for setup, remove all the items from the humidor and wipe the interior with a sponge soaked in pure water. So what they were talking about is distilled water there. Recommend wiping every 1 to 2 months. After sufficient drying, fill the humidor with the appropriate amount of distilled water, wipe off the surface to return it to the humidor, and wait about 12 hours. observe the reading of the hygrometer and place the cigars where the hygrometer reads between 65 and 75%. Close the cabinet door to keep the box closed and place it in a dry area out of direct sunlight or heat. Okay, that makes sense. And so the hygrometer they're talking about is here. It's integrated into this lower shelf. And it says about the hygrometer. The recommended humidity inside the humidor is between 65 and 75%. When the humidity level is lower than this range, the distilled water should be supplemented to increase the humidity. When the humidity level is above 80%, this is an indication of too much distilled water, and the humidifier should be removed and exposed to the air in order to evaporate some of the distilled water. So I don't do any of that. So if you've watched any of my prior humidor unboxings, I generally take the approach in the same way that we do for our electronic humidors. All we need to do is season to 5% above the working humidity for the humidor. So I keep my humidors around 60% RH, and that prevents me from having to do much dry boxing when I want to smoke my cigars. It also helps in advancing that aging process. So I think that for this humidor, what I will do, and that's similar to what I do for my other humidors, is I have plenty of Boveda 72 packs. I also have humidity beads around in those jars, those Humicare beads, and those cruise between 65 and 70. And so I'll do some amount of either of those here. And so leaving it for 2 weeks with either of those humidity systems is fine until the humidity comes to a steady state. And so typically that steady state is going to be right around 65, and I load it up with cigars. It's important to keep in mind that the thing that maintains most of your humidity in a humidor is the cigars. You can fine tune your humidity with humidity packs like Boveda, Humicare beads, even the old school distilled water reservoirs like this. But the thing that maintains humidity in your humidor is your cigars. So you're going to expect to get to a steady state. Some people love to use the Boveda seasoning packs, those 80-some%, I think 84% Boveda seasoning packs. Those are fine. A lot of people like those and recommend them. I just don't see a reason to run out and buy them when what they will do is they'll bring this humidor to 75%, most likely. They may get up to 80. If you do the old school sponge preparation, so like the old school way to do your humidors is to follow this instruction. You do the wipe down of distilled water, you leave a sponge of distilled water, soaked sponge on a plate inside, or some kind of tray or dish or plastic bag or whatever, and you let it sit for a couple weeks. That will inherently keep the humidity around 80%, but there's nowhere near where I want to keep my cigars. They are much more mold prone, and they age much more quickly, and they don't burn as well when their humidities are that high. Especially when you smoke a lot of Cuban cigars like I do, you end up with a lot more plug cigars just by nature of how Cuban cigars are rolled. The packing is tighter and the rolling is tighter. And so what you're gonna find is that those will all smoke better if you cool it with the humidity. You won't have mold issues. You're gonna have such a better outcome if you keep your humidity between 60 and 65. So I personally don't see the reason to run out and buy Boveda seasoning packs. If I had already owned some of them and I kept them in some Ziplocs after their prior use, I would totally use them. But I have a lot of 72s, like I said, and that leaves my humidity right in the mid 60s at a steady state where I like it. And it doesn't shock the cigars, because those cigars are gonna come out of a humidor when they go in here. They're gonna come out of a humidor that's cruising between 60 and 65% RH. And so it's a real bad idea to take them out of 60% RH and dump them into like 75, right? Those binders under the wrapper will swell. The binder will swell faster than your wrapper, and your wrappers will crack. So when you're maintaining as many humidors as I do, with as many different types of cigars as I do, kind of having this simple understanding of how that works when you're getting a new humidor ready, I think is essential. So I'm gonna load this thing up. I will be taking photos of it and posting some updates on my Instagram. So check out @Epicurean Smokes. So that'll be on the Instagram and on the Facebook as well. It's the same name on the Facebook. Follow us on both of those, especially that Facebook. We do need some more followers to be able to live stream through Facebook and Instagram. And so that would be really helpful. But if you want to kind of keep track of the process and see some of the cigars that we're going to be putting into this, check us out on the Instagram as well. We'll post this on the YouTube. And if there's any questions about Kingchi or the process of seasoning a humidor like this, definitely drop that in the comments and let me know. Otherwise, as always, I appreciate you for tuning into these videos. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Again, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon as well. If you don't like waiting for my upcoming premieres, go ahead and check out that Patreon. All of my videos get uploaded there first. You don't have to wait for premiere dates. So even the videos for 2 or 3 weeks from now are already posted there. So thanks again. Bye.
So till next time, keep your